Well, Trump not winning the election. Oh my. Just as we warned of. And in the scheme of things, it really doesn't make a great deal of difference. Neither are fit to govern, and neither have shown to be for them by the people. There is corruption on both sides. It's two faces of the one coin, and the lesson from it all is we the people have to come together and build an alternative solution for our government, country and people. Trump can barely complain about voter fraud when, according to the trustee, she fixed the last election in his favour. And now you know why they argued over the Supreme Court nominees. It is all staged, managed to me. Over 100 million never voted in the last election and was the leading figures by far. What has changed for them 48 months later? Nothing. What has changed for the 130 million who did vote? Nothing. And unless you're doing Common Core maths, nothing plus nothing equals nothing. Nothing has no value. We the people do. We just forget to remember that fact. Our only solution is a long-term plan is to build the People's Club. We've had enough of weight clubs, be it NESARA, RVs, trusts, birth certificate funds. Just us, and we build the network. We can sit around and accept the forecasted cries of election fraud or build something new. But yet again, this country has proven to be incompetent on many levels, and the whole world sees us now as one giant joke. And we can all point fingers at the politicians, but it's we the people who are really responsible for the mess due to dissolving our own responsibility. It's too easy to pass on responsibility to a few select others. Why do people do that? So nothing wrong can then be apportioned to themselves. But it was wrong to pass on that responsibility in the first place. Do you not see that now? As Trump is poised to lose an election, replicating Hillary losing a one-horse race 4 years ago, I look back on the last 4 years that I personally had a close involvement in, and Kim and I together had a heavy input into. This is a president that was given access to files way above his own pay grade. No other president has received that. Kim sent top-level files to expose all of the corruption. Trump did nothing. Kim declared American sovereignty. Trump did nothing. Trump complained about the fake news. I personally went through a 340-plus page document called the Telecommunications Act of 1934 and gave him 15 loopholes to close down the mainstream media within an hour. Trump did nothing. Kim, I and the team worked on a tax reform and was deposited into a bill in January 2019. This would have deleted all taxes on your wages and salary, reduced all taxes and put more money in your pocket to improve the economy and more money in the government's pocket to look after the country better. Trump did nothing. Kim gave him a solution to end the Federal Reserve, IRS and the Crown rule. This would have ended the hijacking of American finances, created new jobs, America would have had a national bank, and the IRS reformed away from being crooks for the Crown in Puerto Rico to the original tax revenue division that has lain dormant since 1933. Trump did nothing. Kim gave him a solution to building the wall and how to protect the money. Trump lost it, and Trump did nothing. Kim cleaned up all the banks, back system, agency and military systems and gave Trump access he is not allowed to have. Trump did nothing. Kim, I and the team did an overhaul of the FEMA disaster relief program, and it would have replaced it with no cost to the government, created thousands of new jobs and stopped the corruption. Trump did nothing. We warned Trump about Mnuchin and Kushner committing acts of treason against the country and told him they need to be fired. Trump did nothing. Well, actually, he appointed Kushner into more prominent positions. When Trump stated he wanted to bring home all the American troops, we informed him why that couldn't happen immediately, and I provided a solution to bring them all home, all funded by the trust. Trump did nothing. Trump was told to cancel the election until the COVID BS of lockdowns and masks were removed. Again, under the Emergency Act, it is a valid reason. Simple solution to the Democrat-led lockdowns and masks. No election until it's all back to normal. Trump did nothing. So you want to know why Trump is potentially losing or lost the election? There is your answer. I warned of this over a month ago and people said it could never happen. Well, now we stand on the brink of it has. And I'm not interested in dodgy counting, fake ballots, 125% turnouts in counties and states. It's all irrelevant and has gone on in every single election. And you, Mr. Trump, gained benefit from that 4 years ago. So let's not use that shit as an excuse. It's childlike. You had 4 years to curtail and stop that nonsense and failed to deliver. Despite a plethora of promises from Q, nothing concrete was delivered, and that includes the wall. Pardon the pun. The Dems have won or are winning because Mr. Trump sold his main support down the tube in an air of arrogance and ego. Not to mention the two people who gave him so much help for no pay and no little flack for doing so either. That town hall debate where Trump dismissed QAnons to protect himself from portal people flack after he allowed the media to go unhindered for 4 years was costly. The media and the Dems won the war for the minds and subsequently the narrative. But you, Mr. Trump, and your Q people failed badly and ultimately sold your own followers down the Delaware River. You just cannot do that and expect to retain people's support. You have to remember the QAnons, people like myself and our listeners, run the gauntlet every single day from the masses of sheep bots who wouldn't know the truth if Jesus came back down and told them. We have to face the ridicule every single day. With an army of agency bots on the computer creating discord, ridicule and slander, and you, Mr. Trump, dismissed all of that support in one interview after nearly 4 years. Shameful. You bowed to the pressure of the treasonous media that day, allowing psychopaths and bots to call the shots. The shot went around the world that day, and you fired it. And fired the QAnons in one cowardly interview. A reminder of your show The Apprentice, where you used to call the shots and say your catchphrase, "You're fired." This time you fired yourself. The consequences now are wide-ranging. Your legacy will be seen as a failure because you to date have not shown the required backbone to make America great again. In overview, you sold it out to Langley clowns and Israel agitators. One consequence of Trump losing this election now is, where does that leave Kim Go-Guen, the trustee? Because I can guarantee you the Democrats will not work with her one iota. Pelosi, Clinton and Obama all hate her with a passion. And her position now is essentially and potentially now an impotent one for at least 4 years. One hopes she uses the next 4 years to listen to what people are telling her and have told her and come back stronger and prepare for something in 4 years' time. Crying and sullying over the past helps no one. Mistakes were made, some bigger than others, but they are not for covering up. They need to be spoken out, apologised for, and move on and forward with a change of mindset from the one to being part of the all. The one has failed. The collective has never been tried on a mass scale, but now more than ever is the time to do it. Saviour programs failed again, like all have gone before. We save us, not I, but we, not the few, but the all. Many will feel down with the result and feel all is lost, but in overview, all is won. Why? Because the weight club distractions of Trump, Q and the trustee that has dominated the last 4 years is now rendered mute. Now, as THI has stated all along, we have to fix it, not them. We didn't wait around, we built our foundation. The People's Club came up with the $1 or more program to fix things ourselves. We have helped, supported, taught, trained and elevated people. We didn't solely rely on Kim. We built it ourselves. And we can sit around and mope or build a people's network over the next 4 years ready for the next elections. And just maybe with enough support and cohesion, we could have our own candidates. And I'm calling on all the alt media groups to get behind this. It is our only solution now. A network of common law, natural law, think tank groups, healthy living groups, food-based groups, solution-based groups that would evolve into a separate group from the current People's Club into a People's Club party. for and by the people. Enough of this rivalry of our group is better than your group and childlike division. We built the People's Club with an adult mind for all of the people. Forget your ego, this is my group, and think like an adult of this could be our group. The people need a collective voice, a power base, a support base that operates for and by the people. We will not do that in a plethora of separate groups, many doing the same things, some just copying others' ideas, which is for their own ego. We will only do that coming together for the first time in history. A group solely operated by the people, for the people, and for the power of the people.